another meeting in August.
What's that? Okay, if everybody will stand, join me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Larry,
Here.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Jeannie. Here. Joey,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
reading of the minutes. The regular town board meeting, date August 12th, 2013, time 7 p.m. at the Altona Town Hall, Altona, New York. Supervisor Ross called the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance, board members present. Supervisor Larry Ross, council members, Jeannie Bushy, Joey Snide, Herbert Terrian, Ronnie LaBarge. Others present, Attorney Joseph Lavarando and Highway Superintendent Fred Terrian. Minutes of July 8th should be, we only got 100 years on this here. 2013 regular town board meeting were read and accepted. Motion by Joey, seconded by Ronnie. The vote was all ayes. Resolution number 62, Williamson Law Software System. Motion by Jeannie, seconded by Ronnie. Motion was adopted. To update the software in the business office, Supervisor Ross is authorized to purchase a new system from Williamson Law Company. The cost is not to exceed $10,000. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 63, NBT credit card. Motion by Herb, seconded by Ronnie. The motion was adopted. The board authorizes Supervisor Ross to obtain a credit card from NBT Bank to use for the purchases for the town. Vote all ayes. The financial report for the years 2011 and 2012 have been completed and filed with the State Comptroller's Office. Resolution number 64, online banking. Motion by Jeannie, seconded by Joey. The motion was adopted. The board agreed to adopt the attached resolution as written in reference to an online banking account with NBT. Co-agents will be Supervisor Larry Ross and Deputy Supervisor Ellen Montgomery, acting in authority to represent the town. This action was suggested by the auditors. Supervisor is authorized to do what is necessary to expedite this procedure. Vote always. Melinda Guerin will serve as secretary to the supervisor as of July 25th, 2013. Resolution number 65, transfers. Motion by Joey, seconded by Ronnie. The motion was adopted. Approval was given to transfer $500,000 from the general account and $300,000 from accounts payable to the money market account in readiness for the building of a town highway garage. Vote all ayes. The suggestion to abandon the church road and the town line road has been tabled. The regular town board meeting for September has been changed from Monday, September 9th to Wednesday, September 4th. Resolution number 66, supervisor's report. Motion by Jeannie, seconded by Ronnie. The motion was adopted. To accept the supervisor's report as presented. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 67, approval of bills. Motion by Joey, seconded by Ronnie. The motion was adopted. To pay the bills as presented. General fund, $15,769.87. Highway fund, $12,689.08. Streetlight district number 1, $835.29. Streetlight district number 21, $166.83. Total, $29,460.19. Prepaid bills, the general fund, $9,456.74. Trust and agency fund, $22,319.72. Total, $31,776.46. Vote all ayes. Motion to adjourn by Herb, seconded by Jeannie. Vote all ayes. Meeting adjourned at 7:50 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Carol Relation, Town Clerk.
Motion to accept the
Yeah,
minutes.
I'll second.
And a vote please. Herb?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Okay, first thing on there is Adirondack Park. We got a request for dues to be paid. It says, Adirondack Towns and Villages funding of the Adirondack Park Local Government Review Board has been instrumental in helping Adirondack communities by providing strong, unified, effective representation on important Adirondack Park policy issues like the right to farm, protection of property, rights to pre-existing landowners, classification of state lands, and Adirondack Park agency reform. The review board helps provide factual and legal research to legislators and policymakers and disseminates information through almost daily emails. And then they go on to give examples, and they have been cut by 53% their funds, and they're asking for $300 this year and $300 next year. If anybody's interested in helping out the,
You gave him 100
I said, wasn't
last
that
year.
100 before?
well, usually I haven't given them any. Well,
But the request was 100.
yeah, well, they got cut, so they're trying to make it up off.
What did it cost us last year?
We didn't give them any last year. It's, usually, when it comes to Adirondack Park, we don't usually
Shy away.
do much with them. It's not something that you have to do, it's just something they're requesting, and like in the past we haven't, but, usually Adirondack Park's been a bad, got, a bad word around here, but, I thought I'd bring it to your attention, because they sent it to us. It's by Fred Monroe. Anyone interested in that? Okay. They also have a meeting coming up entitled, it's Invitation to Adirondack Supervisors and Mayors and Members of the Town and Village Boards, Conference on Strengthening the Adirondack Park Agency. And that's $25 if you pre-register to cover their snacks and stuff. Anybody want to go to that? Strengthen the Adirondack Park. Okay, that's just for your information. The website is up and running, finally. We got everything going. I'm sure there'll be changes to it as we go on. It's a pretty good site, I guess, and been a lot of positive feedback already, so it was a great idea. And it just took us a long time getting it going, because a little miscommunication, I think, was more the problem than anything else. But at any rate, it's up and going, and people can get on there and see what's going on in the town, and also access their permits, applications, that kind of thing. So, pretty good thing to have, I guess. So that's just informational also. Association of Towns just sent us a thing to let us know that the dues again this year will be $700. We don't usually pay those till January, but this will, how much is going on. Let's see, that's, yep. Time Warner, I've done this for the last 2 or 3 meetings. I just want to make sure that everybody knows about the fact that if you want to view channels that are going digital, the TV without digital equipment, you may request digital adapters and remote controls free of charge through November 24th, 2013. Beginning January 1st, 2015, each digital adapter will cost 99 cents a month. And I just want to pass that word on, so that's why I keep bringing it up. I got contacted by Casey Sticks and Stones. When they put the penstocks in, they dug in there, and they piled a lot of rocks on the opposite side of the river over on Lionel's side. And there's quite a pile over in there, and he wanted to see if we'd sell it. And I said, well, I had no idea how much it kind of thing would be worth, and he said, well, anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. He talked to Lionel would let him go through his property, he said, but it'd have to be okayed by the board to sell it. How did anybody feel about that?
How close to the river is he gonna be mining?
He isn't gonna be mining, it's a pile.
Will he be in the river?
No,
If we can make money with stones, they say it's low for it,
Hope if I got a deal for him.
he does buy stone walls and stuff too.
Yes, he
from
does.
farmers. Yeah, I don't know. I would never know how much to ask for them. I got stone walls too, but I wouldn't know how much to ask for them.
Must be for 3,000 to 5,000, there must be a lot of stones there.
It's quite a pile, I guess, and, but no, so he's interested in it. I don't know how to go about this. My gut feeling was to say, well, if it's 3,000 to 5,000, give us 4 up front and take it. I don't know how you feel about it.
Would you have to mark off an area, or does he get the whole river all the way through?
No, just that pile.
Just that one pile?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, I don't know. I know.
Okay, so,
I would suggest that we, get payment prior.
so I said get the money up front, the 4,000, rather than worry about whether it's 4,000 or 5,000. We didn't know we had them to start with, so.
What would you do with them otherwise?
They've been sitting there since they put the pen stocks in, so I don't think we'd do anything with them.
The town doesn't need them, correct?
You can't use them for anything, huh, Fred? They're too big. They're not little pieces or anything, so. It'd be different if they were crushed stone, but,
It's all flat rock.
yeah.
Well, what I would suggest is, part of the resolution, authorize the sale, make, include in the resolution that those stones are surplus property, not necessary for use by the town. In addition to the.
I was wondering, Joe, can I get you to check on the phone? Just look at the pile,
Yeah,
because I won't be available for that. And, so that we know that it's just in one pile and he's gonna dig half the bank away, that kind of thing. So, or anybody else that wants to go, matter of fact, it's not just Joe. Yeah, so we'd entertain a motion to sell the stones as excess equipment, excess material, I should say, and the town's willing to accept $4,000 up front for the pile of stones that's in question.
I'll make a motion to sell the stones. I'll second it.
And this is from Casey, Sticks and
Yes.
Stones? And a vote, please. Herb?
yes.
Jeannie?
Yeah,
Larry?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
The next thing is petroleum bulk storage. Finally got through that. That's been since 2012, and that was another big miscommunication. I thought they had everything they needed. Then they'd come back upset saying they didn't have everything they needed, so I thought they needed this other form. I sent that and paid them money for one part of it. That wasn't what he was talking about either, so finally I got another guy on the phone who explained it a little better, and I got everything, the two of them, thanks to John and Melissa, or Mindy, with the computer sending stuff back and forth. He sent it and waiting and nothing. I called him up, nope, never got anything. So we sent it to every office they had, and finally, he still didn't get anything. So we go back and got him on the line and got it back and forth, and finally got it okayed. I was glad he had that much patience with us, because we could have been fined for it. It's just one of those things I thought we intended, we'd send everything to him, but it didn't get there. So modern day technology isn't perfect, I guess. But it's done and taken care of. Number 7 on your agenda, Williamson Software, we are up and trained. Mindy took training, John sat in and trained as well. They came 2 days, they were supposed to come 4, the lady didn't think they would need 2 more days. I told Mindy if she did need them, to make sure she used them so that she was comfortable with it, rather than on phone if she needed the lady to come back, and they're gonna wait and find out as we get into it a little bit more on how it's gonna go. We're quite a bit under budget. I think we'll be probably 8,000 or less at this point with the system. It went really well. They caught on quickly, and we're pretty much all converted. We're waiting for the next payroll. Everything will be all on the new
So
system.
this is the system authorized or approved by the comptroller?
Right. And I thought it would be a lot more detailed, a lot harder to deal with than that, but they picked it right up, so that's good. Highway, I talked to Tony Roberts, and I talked to Fred today about it. I tried to get something going with pickup truck. I did get the state, what do you call it?
Contract?
Yeah, state contract prices, but if it's to be done anywhere around here, we need to go out to bid. And I called Tony, and he said that if Fred would go down there, he would help him get the basic. He said if you don't ask for it, it won't be put on there, so you wanna make sure you get what you want on there. And he'll suggest it to them, and it won't be set for just Fords, it'll be set for anyone. But he's willing to help us get it set up with what you need on it. I talked to him about the gas versus diesel type thing, and he said that it takes 65,000 miles to break even, that's what he told me. With the difference in the motor. And I said, well, he's probably the truck dealer out of doubt, but then he wouldn't have anything left up. But he told me they had this stuff now for $700, the undercoating, but also a paint sealant that guarantees it for 10 years, no matter what. So, it isn't as big a deterrent that way. That truck we have is an 07, 06.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're 7 years into it, we're 100 and almost
About 130.
130,000 miles, so I don't know if we get the benefit of a diesel or not. Maybe after you talk to them, you have a better understanding. I know convenience-wise, because you have a diesel and everything else, might make it more convenient, but we want to make sure it's also, you know, worth it money-wise. So after you go down and find out the details, then we'll get it put out onto bid, and it'll be a 2014 at that point, because they'd have to order it. The state contract's all out of Rochester, so it would be hard to deal with, I think. Powerhouse, I took Murnane up there this past week, and we went up in the powerhouse. 3 more pigeons in there. I had to take the windows down and chase pigeons out of there. I got 2 out of the 3 out. I don't know where the other one went. Couldn't find him. He went up in the ceiling thing and never came back down, so I don't know what happened to him. But darn things get in there no matter what. One of the windows had blown out, and I put that back, got him. But at any rate, Murnane went up and looked it over. He's supposed to give me a quote on fixing the edges where it's like this wide, goes over the top and around it, that kind of thing, and around the chimneys. And that's where all the water seems to be coming in, I'd say, more than in the center. There's some places in the center. My biggest concern is asbestos. If it's asbestos, then probably take more than what we have even to just get the asbestos dealt with on there. I don't know how to proceed until I hear from Murnane, I guess, and then if we have to do asbestos, then we have no choice. We have to do whatever we have to do to get it, till we can work on it. I think I don't know, if it's asbestos, I asked them if they could cover it, and they're not supposed to disturb it, so. Yeah, it's one of those things where, if it is, you gotta deal with it with the right people and the right way to do it. So that's the powerhouse, I'm waiting on that. Skip the, no, next thing's the town garage. The town garage, I called Andy Abdullah and asked his advice on how to proceed with the town garage. And he suggested that we sit down and get a have-to-have list of things that we really need in there first. And then if we called him, he would come and sit down with us for free, but to give us an idea of what the engineering should cost. And I would imagine we'd have to have more than one quote anyways, but at least we get an idea and a place to start from there. At least I feel more comfortable with somebody showing us the way to go with it. We've got it decided that it's gonna have to be out of wood. We looked at some of those metal ones that were, I don't know where they come up with the prices, but $3-4 million, these buildings, I couldn't believe that, but at any rate, we aren't gonna put that kind of money out. So that's the town garage, that's where we're at, we're gonna wait, Fred and I are gonna sit down and go through some more must-haves on our list, and anybody else, Herbie, you may know a little bit more about that stuff too, to help get some list, or any of you guys in the board, to get a list together of things that we really should have in there.
Well, we need to sit down and figure out how much room we need to begin with, and how much area.
Yeah, he had that pretty much figured out, and if, we'll start out, like I told Fred, we start out with what we want, and then may have to chisel it down to what we can afford a little bit, but, you know, we wanna make sure that it does the job too, so can't whittle too much.
I've been hearing a lot of negativity from townspeople on the location where it's going. I don't know.
We really don't have any other spots that we
I
own.
try to explain it to them, but
We'd have to buy a spot otherwise, I don't know where.
Judy had
There
mentioned-
isn't enough, room where the new convenience station is, to
No,
maybe
that's what-
flip-flop that would work.
No, that's, what you already see there is it, it's what after that. And I don't, like I said, the only other place that I could think of was High Drive would be that one, that we own. Good time to figure it out, is before we build it, once it's up there.
Well, it's just, it's way up there in the woods, and then there's the matter of getting the driveway usable, and I'm not sure, when those fields were done and that digging was done, a lot of things were dumped of trying to make that what they're gonna get into when they start digging, and
Well, to put the road in here, you're not gonna dig down very much, you're probably gonna put stuff on top of it. I didn't think it would be a bad job to widen that, did you, Fred? The road?
I never looked at that close, but I know there's a ditch there.
It has to go toward the park side, we have to widen on the park side.
right.
Right along with the complaints of somebody not wanting it off and about by itself, but we've had as many complaints with it being in the middle of everything, so. You're gonna get as many opinions as there are out there, everybody has their own opinion. We've gotta do what we think's best for the town, and whatever it is, come up with a consensus with the town board, and that's where we'll put it. We started out, we cleared it up there, we got it ready to bulldoze and stuff, but it's not etched in stone, that's for sure. If somebody's got some better ideas, let's come out with them before we build. It isn't gonna get built this fall, because we gotta get all the engineering and all the, everything in place first, so we've got time, and, but, decide as a group, that's what we're here for. Anything else on that, Raj? The next thing is, it's time to appoint the assessor again, and, John has worked hard with us on this, getting it set up so he can handle it. He does all his work here from spring to fall. He has everything done ahead, he takes his computer with him, he can answer anybody's questions, he's kept us at over 100%. And also on that, he would like to be able to change his salary, and his contractual. He'd put 480 in his salary, 3,600 in his contractual. We'd give Mindy 2 hours a week for phone calls and to direct questions to John. And the savings to the town of what it's been over the past would be $6,125 a year saved. So you'll cut his salary that much. So I'd like to reappoint John as the assessor.
Need a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that reappoint him back to the same position. Done a good job so far.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Do you want to include the salary in that resolution? The salary that you just mentioned?
It's $12,480.
$12,480.
Yeah, and then 3,600 in his contractual. And Mindy's would be $800 out of this to answer phones and direct, get maps if people need them, that kind of thing, and pull cards if John needs them sent to him, which would be $800.
So that's a total of 6,000.
The savings over what we had in the budget before was $6,125, so.
Okay, we need a vote. Herb,
Yes.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Joey,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Jeannie.
Abstain.
Next, we got Deanne Gregory sitting there, and she's gonna give us a report on her program for the summer. I'd rather listen to her than me anyway.
Alright, yeah, my stand or what do I do?
You can do whatever you want.
Hi, everybody, I'm Deanne Gregory, just for those of you who might not remember. I am currently one of your youth co-commissioners along with Mindy Guerin, and so I'm just kinda, every year I come and I give you an update on what I do with the reading program, and this year, since I'm one of the co-commissioners, I thought I might let you know a little bit about what's going on with our sports programs. So I'll go in order of our seasons. So for baseball, softball, t-ball, we had 6 teams this year, and we decided we'd like to know who our coaches are, so we presented to Larry if we could buy shirts for our coaches and our assistant coaches, and he said yes, and so we did. And we got lots of nice compliments about those, a lot of nice comments on that. They look very professional when they're there. If we could just now next year remind the coaches that they need to wear them. That's why we bought them for them, was they need to wear them for the games. I know Grasshopper Boys did, but that's because I went to all those games.
I did see them, they look nice.
They do look nice. So we had a total of 72 kids who participated in that, which I don't know from last year. I don't have those numbers, so I'm hoping we can keep track of what our numbers look like. But we did have 2 Grasshopper girls this year. This year we had a Grasshopper Boys team, which we did not have operational last year, so that's good. We're hoping maybe this coming season I'm pretty sure we'll have a Pony Girls, because a lot of our girls have moved up from Pee Wee, and we're hoping to have Pony Boys, but I don't know those numbers. So from baseball, then we went to a Lake Monsters baseball trip, and Mindy did a ton of work on that to organize that. We did a fundraiser, car wash, bottle drive. It was a really nice turnout for that. The kids got a great package. They got their ticket, they got a hamburger and a hot dog, chips, a drink, and a cookie, and for the game. And they also got Lake Monsters cash so that they could buy anything, so all the kids went home with a souvenir. We were able to get a school bus. We have not been billed for that yet. I saw Wayne Magoon and I mentioned that to him, and he said that's not him, that's the business office. So I don't know if you want me to bother the business office or if you want to let it go. So you let me know what you want me to do on that one.
I hate to all shake them, you know.
Exactly. You
It
know,
is.
so. And we had approximately 90 parents and kids, grandparents too, who came. So it was nice. Mindy took some nice pictures. I think she might have put some on the website. I don't know.
There'll be some in the newsletter.
So that was fun. And then, so then reading program, that's me. That goes, last year I did a 5 Mondays in July. This week I opted to go back down to 4 weeks. It was just a little, 5 weeks was a lot. So we transformed this room Sunday night, Mike and the kids and I, and it becomes the reading program. And I'm able to get a bunch of books from the library system. I have a friend who works at the Clinton Essex Franklin Library System, and this year she got me 200 books. That is above and beyond what Mrs. Russell has. So I put the books out, and the kids are able to pick, and I tried to organize them by their reading level so that they can pick what they want to do. And they rotate through different, we have a reading group, we have a reading station, we have an arts and crafts, and we have a cooking station. And every week I clogged up the sinks in the toilets.
You gotta quit flushing
Sorry.
kids down the toilet.
You know.
I think we had one missing at the end.
And our program really grew this year. We had a total of 54 kids in the town of Altona participate. We did have probably I had 101 who signed up. 54 who came. So that's tricky for me because I don't know how many are actually going to come each week. So I have to buy supplies thinking based on what I think might come. So that's something I need to continue to work on to figure out how to get a definite number on who's coming. I'm able to return, this year I bought most of my stuff through Michael's and then I just returned it, which was easier. So we averaged 42 kids a week. We had 20 new kids from last year. We had 22 different parents who came and helped out. This year that really exploded too. I had a ton of parents who were here. And without the parents I couldn't do it because I just couldn't do it. We have children ages 3 to 14 who come. My older kids definitely, they do the book return for me, and that's really helpful. And then the way I've kind of worked it out is the older kids are buddies with the younger kids, so it's really a nice community team approach. The kids really get to see that. And then I applied for a $100 grant through the Clinton Essex Franklin Library System because I followed some of their curriculum. It came in, it was, their theme was dig into reading, so I tried to base my topics loosely on that, and so I applied for the grant, got it back, so that goes back into our budget. And at the end of the very last day, all the kids go home with a book and a cookbook, which if anybody wants to know how to make hummus or pinwheels, or what else did we make? Vanilla sand cups, yogurt cups, and granola. So if anybody really wants to know how to make hummus, that didn't go over very well. And I give samples to whomever is here. So remember, next summer, come on Mondays, and if you're here and I have enough food, I'll give you a sample. This year my budget was, as it was last year, $500, and I handed out my receipts in. So I'm a little vague on my exact details, but I am under budget. I believe it was like $452.84. So I'm under budget this year. Last year I went over by I think like $1. And I do actually have one receipt that's outstanding because I bought a bunch of dinosaurs and made dinosaur fossil dough, which was a mess. It was fun, and I had to buy too many. So I'm going to ask the teachers at school if any of them want to buy them from me, and if they do, then I'll take that off and submit it, and if not, I might just donate them to Ellen and see if she can use them for... I'm donating them through you to see if she can use them as stocking stuffers or something. They're just like dinosaur fossils. I don't know. I don't really know what else to do with them. So it averaged is to $4.33 a week per child, which I think they have an hour and a half of fun. That's pretty economical.
That's a lot of positive feedback on that program.
And I do have, I don't know if you want it now or if you want me to bring it to the town. I got the on-site monitoring from Kim Crockett, which is just, I don't know if you want it now or to bring it.
Whatever's better, it doesn't matter. We'll take it, either time.
So let me see. Oh, and then I'm trying to think of my timeline. And then we had our end of the year soccer, softball, baseball party, and we had about 100 kids who came to that. And then we had a bounce house, and that was a lot of fun. Again, it was a nice turnout, family fun day for the it's a really nice community thing. And so now we are in the middle of soccer, and we currently have 8 teams, and we have 113 kids who are participating in soccer. We have 2 mini mites, 4 mites, 1 peewee team, and 1 bantam team. So, soccer is huge here in the North Country. So that's all I have to say for the good of the order of the Youth Commission. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone want to know how to make hummus?
I have some comments. One thing is on their baseball trip, what was really cool about that was the kids got to help make the money to go. And they were involved in it, and they were excited about it, and it really drew a lot of people together. The parents were working together, people worked together to get there. And it was really neat. Also, from the observations from Clinton County, they said it's the best reading program they've ever seen, and that's kudos to her. And she does a lot of great things in there. I've tried to come in and tease the kids a little bit. They won't pay attention to me, so and they're really into whatever she's doing. I can't even agitate them; they don't listen. So that's pretty good if you can keep that many different age groups together and all paying attention and being right on task. That's an amazing job. And the next thing is, and it was on my agenda, as long as I have you here, I want to talk about it while you're here. We had a little trouble. It could be trouble as pets at the park while the kids are playing. And I guess it doesn't have to be trouble if everybody was responsible for their animals the way they should be, but unfortunately they don't seem to be. I don't know if you need rules for it. My first thought was ban pets while the kids are playing in an organized sport on the playground. Well, then I don't know if that's too restrictive. Maybe if they did have a pet there, is to be responsible enough to keep it on a leash and tight to the owner. I don't know. I'm looking for suggestions on this. But I don't want to see some kid bitten up there because a dog is loose or, that kind of thing. When the kids are all playing, there's a lot of commotion. Dogs sometimes don't do what they normally do. So I'm a little concerned about it. So any feedback from anybody here?
Maybe leash sounds good, I mean, is there anything, noted on that?
It's fine if they
Keep them
stay
tight
on
to
a
it.
leash.
Right, yeah, it's just, yeah.
Well, this is why this came up, because there was an incident where the dog wasn't on a leash.
And that's unfortunate. I mean, I'm not one that likes to make rules for every little thing, but in the safety of kids, I don't want to see a kid get
Right.
bitten by a dog if somebody isn't responsible enough to hang on to it and keep it. I'd rather not bring them to those things, but there may be people walking their dogs that do that all the time, and I really wouldn't want to restrict people from doing that, so.
It's a tough situation, to put restrictions on that, because the majority's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But there's, the one time that it's not. I don't know how we address that, but it's,
We have on the bottom of our sign-up form a very basic, we've modified it for next year, but it's a town release and waiver form, but I don't know if something happens like that. You might wanna look at what we've come up with, we kind of modeled what Moore's has as our waiver, but I don't know if it's thorough enough to get, and I don't know what would happen if the town is absolved, would then become a civil suit, or what it would be, and, people are on high alert based on what happened to, little girl. So, I don't know if a leash law in town might be,
I wouldn't do a town-wide leash law simply because you couldn't,
that would be a nightmare.
you couldn't run it, you couldn't police it. We don't have the people to do that.
But if you do it at the park, then who is responsible for reinforcing that?
Well, it would be whoever was in charge up there. In other words, if somebody let their dog off,
Yes.
would be whatever coach or whatever coordinator or whoever's there would
I don't
be.
wanna do it. Gary, I don't wanna do that.
Well,
what are the laws inside the park?
I don't believe we have any, because we've never had a problem, but if you got people letting dogs loose with kids around,
Could be bad, yeah.
It could be bad.
And the thing is there's always been dogs at the park, but I think, like I said, everybody's on high alert and people are just more aware. And then so dog owners see one person there with a dog, and then another dog comes, and then another dog. I mean, there are more and more dogs coming, and you don't know what one dog is gonna do with another dog, and then with all those children running around and screaming and,
Well, and the
worry.
thing too, sometimes with, certain animals, they're there to protect their owners, they're there to protect the children as their owners. And especially in soccer, being such an aggressive in contact, one kid trying to get the ball from another kid, a dog may, perceive that as them attacking their own child.
Certain dogs, if they see a ball, they go crazy over it. Like my son's dog, he's gonna get that ball no matter how many kids are after it. So, you couldn't let something like that on the field. He'd take the ball and run with it, but, I don't know if we can go anywhere from, banning dogs on the playing field while kids are in an active sport, or we could go with anyone bringing a dog to something like that must keep them on a leash and tight at hand. I don't know how you would word that, but, so we have different degrees of the law that we could make. I don't know what makes the most sense.
You'd almost have to ban them from the field when they're playing ball, right?
Well, it depends, like if you had a dog with you and you had him on a tight leash right here in your hand, I suppose he couldn't hurt anybody unless somebody let the kid go over there to him, but, I don't know. I don't know what's the right thing to do on that. Anybody have a preference?
You just said.
There's so many different, you have so many different temperamental dogs out there that,
Yeah, well, that's trouble.
Yeah, you can't just say, well, this dog gotta be banned and not that
You
dog.
can't.
You can't say that.
put them to a German police or something, it's just, they all have different disposition. I would think that they could probably leave them in the vehicle or leave them home for the hour and a half it takes to play the game, but some people probably travel from a long way with it.
Yeah, that's true too, but,
And then that also opens up to when you have away game, when we have people coming from another town, if they're not aware of our, whatever we decide, and they don't come with a leash, then, I don't know, it's tricky.
It's tough, I'm personally have been at the field many times and very uncomfortable with.
Will a leash take care of it with signage? Put some signs up, your dog must be on a leash around
That'd be the best thing.
I think
kids
that's
that
at least a start, if you put it up there and it's visible,
What do other towns do? Do other towns have this problem?
I know in Shazy, you can't have a dog over in those playing fields, cause
Yeah.
we didn't notice the sign, they threw us off with one. And, but we didn't see the sign, but if you got signs up and where they can be read, it seems to me it would make more sense than banning every dog, because, like you say, if they're from away and somebody's responsible, some little dog, they hang on to them. And maybe we should put something in there, owners, responsible, something should happen. They should know that already, but, I don't know how to word that, but, trying to think. But if we had signage down through the park where they come into play, and, instead that a dog, must be on the leash when,
And under control of its owner.
well-organized play or something.
Because you can have them on a leash tied on the fence. So you want to have those under the control of its owner.
During organized play or
But,
maybe?
it's a park with kids running around all the time, why would you want somebody just to let their dog run loose?
Well, sometimes there aren't kids there, and then they could play with the dog, I suppose, it wouldn't hurt anything, but,
What you could do too is when you pull in up there, towards the park on the left-hand side, have signs there with dogs, you know, that couldn't go beyond that point. In other words, they couldn't go onto the field area. If they wanted to have a dog on a leash, then it would have to be on, over in the parking lot area.
On the left side.
That's what I would do.
That'd be one way to have it, yeah.
At least they wouldn't be over where the kids
Yeah.
are playing.
Just during organized play,
Right.
so in other words, if there weren't any kids over there.
They had no team, no?
Everybody think that
Well,
sounds?
the other thing too is if the dog goes to the bathroom, or the people are walking around there, it's not something you really wanna step in.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And have the little,
So we have to put no pets beyond this point and put it right along the fence going up to the fields, during organized play maybe, I don't know. Or not, I don't know. Whatever
Well,
makes the most sense.
I know that it's very touchy situation, but I think we need to do something. So something of that nature maybe would be the right way to approach it. You know,
did you have trouble last year?
No, this is the first
No.
year we've ever had any complaints, I think.
But I think the only reason the complaints are coming is because of what happened in town.
It says everything
And
is.
it's the same type of dog, it's a pit bull that is not being on its leash. You know, I mean, and then there's another family who came in and has an American bulldog, and that thing looks scary too, but she has that right next to her, and she's got that dog under control. But from what I haven't witnessed this because, so, but this family, I don't believe has the dog as much under control as should be. But has signs on the house that says beware of dog.
I know I've been called to the soccer field twice so far.
And the coach has addressed it, and
The coaches have addressed this themselves.
Well, you don't have
Parent
much teeth
addressed
in
it.
it, you know, unless we do something, unless we put something
Right.
in writing, you don't have it, you can
Right.
tell them, but
There's
they
no
don't have to
recourse.
listen,
No,
you know.
we did, I did try to just speak to them and ask them just out of compassion and respect for the children and the other parents. But apparently,
Why don't you have your secretary do a poll of the other towns? Why try to reinvent the wheel? Let's find out what everybody else is doing with their playgrounds and go from there. I know Danamora, for instance, at the lake, they have a big sign right out that requires all dogs be on leash, period.
I think that's the way to go, is have them on leash, or like Herbie said, not beyond this point during organized play, maybe either, both signs. Have both signs, one, dog be on leash at all times, on the playing surface, or no pets beyond this point during organized play. I think if we get both those signs, we'd be covered. And it's not too restrictive, they can still have them, they just can't, they gotta be more aware of what they're doing. And if we have it, a resolution saying that, then at least, when a coach asks somebody to take care of the dog, they can do it, or we can call a dog catcher, or whatever they have to do, so they can follow.
do it with the exception of service dogs.
Yeah, but a service dog's gonna be on a leash anyway.
Right, I know, but you wanna be very plain.
Yep. And a service dog must have papers proving that it's a service dog anyway, so
Right.
that's not an issue. But I think maybe we should do both sides. And, during organized play, they should stay off, one side, and otherwise they should be on a leash. Anybody see anything wrong with that?
Are you going to say just dogs or pets?
Pets, that's another thing. I've seen some pretty weird pets out there sometimes too. They come in with a lynx or something on a leash. I've seen that before. Maybe we should say pets.
When the insurance company tell you what to put up there?
They may have some input.
They can't for insurance.
They would definitely
I
have some
think they
input.
know the wording you put on there.
Yeah,
They've had, must have been into a situation before, sure.
It's probably not a bad idea.
why don't we proceed that way then? With both kinds of signs and wordage from the insurance company if they have any input. and put the signage up there. But I need a resolution to do that so that it would hold some, authority if somebody decides to not wanna do it.
I'll make the resolution.
So we're going with no pets on the field during organized activities and on a leash
At all times.
at all times to the left of the driveway, away from the fields, is that what we're saying?
Oh, well, we were
Is that
gonna say
what
no
you're
dogs past.
Leash.
No dogs, there's just no dogs
Right.
at all,
No dogs in the field.
no pets.
That's what I would.
During
No pets
organized
on
play.
field during organized activities.
They're gonna be in the leash all times, though, right?
And even if they're on the parking lot, they should be on the
Yeah.
leash because
On
they
leash
could
at
always
all
run
times,
across.
yeah.
Did you wanna say, dogs and other pets be on a leash at all times and under the control of their
I
own?
think that's a good idea.
There you go.
And would you need two sets, one for one entrance and then one for the small?
Yeah,
Just so it's, because
Right.
somebody could go in this way and walk over. So probably two sets of signs.
You probably should have something about picking up after your pet too.
you know, she does up in the park.
You
She,
must know that already.
As long as you're doing it,
She
might
does.
as well
yeah,
cover it all.
we could put that
Yeah.
also. But I know they have them up inside the park that does that, so.
Is everybody making notes here?
Yeah.
I need everybody's
Yeah.
thoughts. All pets on leash at all times?
That's a basic.
Other pets be on a leash at all times and be under the control of its owner.
Who's gonna let Jimmy know this?
What's that?
I said, who's gonna tell Jimmy this, so he can start policing it afterwards?
Well, it's gonna take us a little bit to get it into, get our signs and stuff.
Make the season
But we gotta start somewhere.
Well, you can. I mean, we have two dogs that are fine, but if they're fighting, it's okay, it's in the middle of a dog fight.
Right, or a child petting an animal, they do that.
That's a leash, all times under control of their owner. What's those signs say, owner must clean up after pet, or, I don't remember how they word that on those signs. Okay, so we need a motion for that, and we'll get the wordage, of course, after we get what the church comes to. Ronnie made the motion.
Ronnie makes it.
I'll second.
Put a vote, please. Joey?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yeah.
Herb?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes. We just started with monthly reports from each department that controls money. And by next, thank you so much for coming. Yeah, thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
By next month, we should have it pretty much in that, where any department that handles money will hand in a monthly report on the money. I just got, I gave them notice, so give them time to get it in, and that'll be for next month. Sidewalks. The sidewalks, I talked to the contractor, he said within a couple of weeks here now, he should be on it. He's gonna start from the post office and work down to the church parking lot. That's 470 feet. He's gonna do it complete, he's gonna do finish the edges and stuff. The guys got a little bit behind on the other, they haven't had time to get down through there, so we'll pay him to put them in complete and finished. That leaves us with 395 more feet that we can afford to do, and I, in my mind, thought maybe go from the Starks Road up toward the park to try to finish that one side, but if you guys would rather have him go somewhere else to start, we got 395 more feet that we could put in when he's there. Anybody have any other ideas rather than just trying to stay on that one side?
How are we doing down towards where the store's going? That all been happy there? That area?
I haven't walked it this year, but
There's a couple sections that.
we're in pretty rough shape and different, all the way, but we're gaining on it. I didn't know if we should finish one side.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Whatever you wanna do. I don't care as long as you're
Okay,
making
sounds good to me.
a step forward. So when he comes, once he finishes down there, we'll tell him to go to the opposite side of the Stark Road and work the 395 feet up the other way, and that'll still leave some, but at least we're trying to finish off one side and we'll jump across and do whatever. That will keep us within our budget.
Is there a time frame on that, Larry? I mean, does he know actually what time will take with that?
He didn't tell me, but he is gonna get right, when he gets on it, he's gonna stay right with it. I told him that, he didn't want to drag it out. Whatever he tears up, I'd like to get him put right back in there,
Right.
so.
Okay.
So he should keep right at it. Next thing is, well, it's not the next thing on your agenda, but the next thing in my head, I guess, I popped up. October 14th is a legal holiday, it's Columbus Day, and that's when our meeting is supposed to be. Do you wanna change that to the 7th, being that it's a national holiday? Go to October 7th instead of the 14th, it'd be the first Monday instead of the second Monday.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. We need a motion to do that, and then we can get it advertised, if that's what you wanna do. I'll make a
Is that
motion.
okay? Is that okay, Natalie?
Good to me.
I'll second it.
I'm sorry, who first it? Okay. This is from the 14th to the 7th.
Right.
And a vote please, Larry,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Jeannie,
Yeah.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Joey.
Yes. Annual estimates are due, and we have to get the budget rolling, so if anybody has any estimates of, what they think they may need for
They're in their packet.
increases, get that back to us as quick as you can, and we'll take care of that. Supervisor's report.
You don't have one.
That's right, too. We're in the process of switching systems, so we don't have that. You do have some, I've got about 15 different ones, I don't know which ones are which, but you have an update on all the accounts, okay, in your packet. The bank reconciliation is another one that you have, we're all set there. One of the packets, general fund townwide detail of revenues. If you look at that, you'll see on the right-hand side, you'll see minus signs. That's because we have more revenue than we put in the budget. So we took in more money than we planned on taking in, so it shows it as a minus sign, but that's what it's supposed to be written, but it's a good thing. You got more money than you thought you were gonna have, so just to clarify that. So we've run off all kinds of reports here for you, details of the revenues. That's that one, general fund. And then you, okay, so, what else I got here? And update of all the accounts is in there. Just like I told you that. This one, I don't think I have this one. Let me do that. Pass that around. And that's the balance as of today. Next month, we'll be all on the new system, and, you know, the reports will be coming, like the supervisor report, and all that'll be there.
Can you get one, Joe? There should be enough there.
Yeah, he's,
Oh,
yeah, you got
There you go.
If I didn't get one, I can make copies still. So you can look at those, if you have questions, we can get into that. Approval of the bills is next.
Make a motion for the bills.
You got it, Jim?
Do we have a second?
Yes.
All right. And a vote, please. Jean,
Yes.
Joey,
Yes.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Larry.
Yes. Send that around.
This also looks different off the new.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fred, do you have anything to add? I know you've been working hard on the, I forgot to mention that, on the Jerusalem road, so you won't have washouts. Start to bring salt. Already? And we'll have sand coming right off too. So salt and sand right off, and then, he's gonna work on the sidewalks a little bit for me, and as that money comes in, you're gonna try to do a little bit more paving, so. So, that's what the highway department's gonna do. Anybody else have questions for the board? Andy?
No, I didn't get that.
I've got a number of things here. First thing I'd like to do is congratulate you for reappointing John as assessor. He's, as far as I am concerned, he's the best assessor in this county, and he's done a fantastic job, and I'm glad that, I know there's been some griping in the community because he lives in Florida, but the man does, I don't care where he lives, he can go to New Zealand as far as I'm concerned. If he does the job he does, it's fantastic. There was talk, or there was comment from you, Larry, a while back concerning, based upon my questioning of you of the putting a garbage dump, convenience station, whatever you want to call it, it's a garbage dump, at the entrance to the town. I have a problem with that. I think it's a wonderful sign acknowledging the fact that Altona is a garbage dump. You had told me at the time you were going to screen it. I haven't seen the screen, and I'd like to see that happen. I still think it's a terrible location. I think you would be much better to move the convenience station over onto the Stark Road and put your town garage out there where the convenience station is. But I know that costs money, but I think it's, I'll just go on record of saying that that's an absolute, you know, Altona has been getting better over the years. I've lived here 44 years now, and I'm still not a native, I know that, but it has been getting better. And to do that, I thought was a travesty. I'm sorry. Question, Casey Sticks and Stones, do we need to go to bid?
No, if that's surplus property,
Okay, we don't.
you should be getting whatever the fair market value is for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's
So how do
the
we know
issue.
what the fair market value is?
Well, it's worth, to me, it's worth what he's offering us, is stones we weren't gonna.
But if somebody else will come and offer you twice that, then you're not getting what it's worth. I don't know that, I'm just asking the question, I'm just throwing that thought at you. I have no idea, I know flat rock is a premium, we got tons of it. The other thing, the last thing that bothers me tremendously is the way you handled the Adirondack Park. I spent 6.5 years sitting on the board of the Adirondack Park Agency for the state of New York. Went there with a chip on my shoulder, have no love of the Adirondack Park. When they went into business in '72, I was in the land business, basically put me out of business. But since it was part of my job, working for the state, I decided to do it. I didn't have to do it, I could have turned it over to one of my deputies. I learned a lot, I'll be very honest with you. I learned all about the park to begin with. The one thing I learned that I came to realize out of this is whether we like it or not, it's the state law. It's been there since '72, you're not gonna change it, you can scream, yell, ignore it, try to do everything behind their back, they'll get you. And belonging to the association, the group, but I don't even remember the name, I used to have the acronym for it, but I don't remember anymore, is a good thing, because they do have a voice, and they have a seat on the board, and they actually participate, and they have input. We have 1/3 of the town is in the Adirondack Park. And to decide that we're gonna ignore it because we don't like it, grow up, is my only comment. We've been here, it's going to be here, it's controlled out of the liberals out of New York City, you're not gonna change it. And some of the biggest backers were local people in Essex and Clinton and Franklin counties. So I think you're wrong to not pay the $300, it's not like we don't have it. We should be automatically, if John Doe comes in here for a building permit, and he's in the park, we shouldn't be giving him a building permit, unless, one, we have a letter from the Adirondack Park. Oh, and by the way, the Clinton County Health Department too, for the sewer, we don't do that either. But we aren't doing that, and that's wrong, because that will bite us. It may not bite us today, but eventually it'll bite us. I don't even want to tell you how many sewers in this town are illegal, septic systems are illegal, get put in every day illegally, and it's gonna bite us. It's gonna, one of these days, the results of these illegal systems, they'll kill somebody. And then somebody will start digging up and saying, geez, wasn't this town approved? Didn't you get a building permit? You're not doing it.
Excuse me, but I just obtained a permit, I had to have the sewage permit also, in order to get a permit for the occupancy.
Excellent. It hasn't been done.
Done here at our town.
Okay, it hasn't been done, is what I'm saying. If it's being done now, great.
Yes.
I'll go along with it.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, as I said, I sat on the board for 6.5 years at the APA. And I can't tell you the number of people, I have realtors from in the park, it's deep in the park, not here on the edge. And their attitude was, go ahead and do whatever you want, and then come to the park. And, they'll fine you or they'll do something. And that's the wrong way to go about it. They will be very helpful. They will work with you. They're not there to hurt you. And to take a negative attitude, to simply ignore them, that's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn. I'll second it.
Chair votes please, Larry.
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Thanks for coming, folks.
There we go.
Noise around, whether I like it or not, I fly.